Where there's a will, there's a way.
Quite literally, Will Tidwell, a younger gentleman.
I wish I didn't have this big heart. People just do nothing but hurt me. Anybody can dream the dream. Anybody can have a goal, but see,
you're gonna be a neighborhood hero. You just keep shining.
Hey, what's going on, man? This is Will Z Tidwell with SpeakUPZee, and you are now tuned in to SpeakUPZee, the podcast, man, powered by WinJ Studios. Man, the podcast where we talk about real things for real people. Everything from life to business to entrepreneurship to mental health and a little bit of sports and politics too. I got a very, very, very special episode that we're recording here today, y'all. With a good friend of mine, a mentor. Somebody that pretty much watched me grow up. He saw the good, the bad, the ugly. You know what I'm saying? Coach, what's going on, man?
What's up?
Not much, man. How you doing?
I'm well, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you for joining us, man. For the people that don't know you, Coach, just real quick, if you don't mind, just kind of telling your name, where you from, a little bit about what you do.
Man, Jason Lanier, entrepreneur here in Little Rock, Arkansas, originally from Pasadena, California.
Yep.
Sleep with 2 fans on at night. Like a lot of us, man. AC on 71.
Nah, 68.
68?
65.
That's
I'm that type of guy. I come on freeze the thermostat.
There you go. Yeah, no, man. Just, man, fun-loving guy here in Little Rock, man.
Yeah.
I got a family, got a wife, beautiful wife, 4 beautiful boys. Yeah. Man, just having a good time with it.
100%, man. Coach, growing up, like I said, you pretty much watched me grow up, And I remember when you was running the head show at one of the local Boys and Girls Club, right? You was holding it down for us and chilling with us every day, hooping with us, man, just making sure we stayed out of trouble. But what I didn't realize is that back then, you had your hands in a lot of buckets and you were setting the foundation for a lot of your businesses and the companies that you're in. Do you mind sharing with the people like some of the different industries that you're a part of, some of the companies you have, and the portfolio that you're building up still to this day?
Yeah, man. First off, man, it's honor to God, man, be able to work and do the work I did.
Absolutely.
The Whetstone Boys and Girls Club, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful place,
Absolutely.
Beautiful people. Bud Whetstone, his wife, done an unbelievable job,
Yep.
man, of putting something together for it. Prior to that, I worked at a place called Park, Positive Atmosphere Reaches Kids.
Yep.
Keith Jackson.
Shout out to Keith Jackson.
Yeah,
Shout out to Keith Jackson for sure.
Shout out Big Jack.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But man, so I worked there at Park as a case manager.
Yes, sir.
Whetstone was my first actual real job where I got a chance to be, boss.
Right, absolutely. Like running things.
I got a chance to, have my own show, man,
Yes, sir.
do it, the way I wanted to do it. And so we took off, man. I got there. My first week, I still have a sheet of paper of our signing sheet, man. We had 23 kids.
Man. In the whole place?
In the whole place. That
Wow.
big old, giant, beautiful
When I got
place.
there, it was some hundreds.
Yeah.
By the time I got there.
That took some time.
That's crazy.
But got there, man, as a 28-year-old young man, right?
Yeah, he was super young.
I was super young, full of energy. I was gonna change the world, right?
Yeah.
And man, but I had decided I wasn't gonna do that line of work for the remainder of my life, right? But while I was there, I was gonna work my ass off,
Right.
and getting things done. So what I did was on my spare time,
Right.
I was buying real estate, buying rental properties, right? I bought my first rental property when I was there. That might have been when I was 29, going on 30.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Before I even ask this next question, you said something that kind of sparked my interest. Talk about how important it is that sometimes we have these certain dreams and aspirations and we have this vision of what we want to do with our life, right? But sometimes we get down on ourselves or we don't want to go through a certain process and take those stepping stones in order to reach that ultimate goal. Because easily you could have been like, man, I'm not going to go manage a Boys and Girls Club. I'm not going to go be with kids every day. I want to do this.
Yeah.
But talk about how important it was for you to take that step and be at that part of your life and how it kind of molded you into everything that you do now.
Well, man, first off, priorities.
Absolutely.
At that point in time, I had two kids at that point in time, man.
Yeah.
So home got to be taken care of.
Absolutely.
You're right. You got a wife at the crib, So
Yeah,
I
that pride.
I got my big boy stuff. I got to do. I got to take care of big boy responsibilities.
Absolutely.
And so I knew I wanted to do what I'm doing now. Then I just wasn't there yet, right? So that calls for a lot of sleepless nights. I remember at that point in time, I had a desk on the side of my bed, right? So 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when I can't sleep, man, I get up and get on my computer over there, right? And just be banging away, just, thoughts. Sometimes, I've heard a lot of places with a lot of people, you have thoughts in the middle of the night, right? When you can't sleep, right? So I'm notorious for that. Me too. Not as much as I used to then, but what I would do early is I would just fight it and just try to go back to sleep, and couldn't go back to sleep. So what I did, and this is something that I suggest to a lot of entrepreneurs out there or younger people that are trying to start their own businesses. Man, when you're having those dreams, man, sometimes it's the quiet of the night, man. It's God speaking to you.
Absolutely.
Get on up.
Don't fight it.
Get on up. Absolutely. Don't fight it. I suggest don't put it in your phone because that light on your phone will wake you up and it's hard to go back to sleep. Get up and go write it down, right? I wasn't smart enough to know that then, so I would get on my laptop and wait until 6 in the morning. Wake the whole room up, right?
Absolutely.
But man, I suggest get up and go ahead and write it out. Write the dreams out, man. I have a couple movies that I've dreamed of. Had them. Thought to myself, man, I'm gonna write them down in the morning. Wake up with it on my mind. By noon, I forgot.
You forgot about
it, right? I'm talking about big time movies. Let me tell it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Your mind was gonna be
the one. It's the one, right?
For sure. I'll get it, man. I caught myself leaning out the shower, putting things on my phone, driving on one knee. Because it's like when you got that idea, that vision, you gotta have to put it down before you forget it. Especially with the creators like we are. You know what I mean?
Well, you gotta pull over. You gotta pull to the side road. No, for real.
Don't do what I did, cause I'm real deal. Like I'm driving one knee, trying to type. You know what I'm saying?
Kids don't do that.
Okay, you're right. Don't do what I did. Don't do what I did.
A lot of parking lots.
Because the real estate is just one of the many. What are some of the other things that you did with dabble in? That's just a couple. That's just one of them.
Man, so one of my pride and joys right now is my salon. Growth Ultra Grooming Lounge.
Shout out to Growth.
Yeah, shout out to Growth and all my family. I don't say the people that work there, but my family that work there. 9024 Colonel Glenn Road, Little Rock, Arkansas. Man, beautiful place with some beautiful people that work their tail off. Man, have a really professional environment there. Right now, we're doing really, really good. Got anything you need, we can take care of it there. What else do I do, man?
So many.
I have a construction company called Lanier Premier Construction. I have my rental properties. That's under my business name, Lanier Premier Properties. I'm the color analyst for UALR men's basketball or UA Little Rock. So shout out to Trojans, go Trojans.
Absolutely.
Golly, man.
So many things.
I host a youth basketball tournament called Jamming for Jerseys. Man, I'm really proud of that, man. This year was our 10th annual tournament, man.
One of the biggest tournaments in the state.
Yeah, man. At one point, man, around the 18, 19 era, we were, if you go team for team, pretty much the #1 tournament in the state.
100%.
And I take great pride in that, man. We've paid attention and watched some of the legends around here host tournaments and stuff like that. So I've got a chance to just kind of, take away, some of the great things that they've done and just kind of interpret into what I'm doing. So shout out to them as well.
Absolutely. All right. So then, Coach, you got your hands in so many buckets. You're doing so many things. Where did that passion come from for construction, beauty, real estate? Like, was it something you were exposed to? Was it just you understanding how important passive income was and you knew these were things that you could have passive income in? Like, where did that passion for these different, aspirations come from? Where did it come from?
Well, man, just my upbringing. Man, I have a beautiful mother. She's done an outstanding job of just taking what she was given and going from there, right? And showing me what hard work really meant. Single parent. She's gotten married, divorced, and been married again. But I've been a single. She's been with a single parent for the majority of my life.
Right.
But man, I'm telling you, kids use the term dog all the time. Man, she a dog.
Yeah, hustler, man. One
of the hardest people I've ever. Not one of the hardest working person I've ever met.
Now, does she still run her businesses and stuff that she does?
Well, so
what did she do rather?
Okay, so she still does her 9 to 5.
Okay.
And she does some businesses on the side, right? One of the things that I really remember from my childhood was she come from really humble beginnings, right? And so she took great pride in on those Saturdays. She would take or get clothes donated from neighbors or from family members, from people she worked with. and she would have her own business, and that business was a garage sale, right? And so I remember, man, those Saturdays, man, she'd wake me up, 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30, to go out and get the clothes set up. And so I remember her on those days, man, just glowing, because it was her. She got a chance. She knew what she was doing. She made the rules. She opened it up when she wanted to. She closed it when she wanted to. She knew what prices she wanted, right? And so she got a chance to run her own show. And so as a kid, man, 8, 9, 12, 15, I got a chance to see that, and I fell in love with that, right? So that's where a lot of my passion comes from. And then also too, man, I don't do things that I don't have a knowledge about. Right. I think it's Warren Buffett, he talked about, he only invests in things he knows about. Right. Well, with me, you think about it, I didn't mention my sports apparel company, but I'm in youth sports. I got 3 boys that play ball, right?
One of the top players in the country. We didn't even mention that. I know you only, that ain't one of your, you only care about that. You only care about the numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah. But man, no, he's doing his thing too.
Absolutely.
And I have 2 younger boys that are doing some really good stuff too, in that all respect.
Absolutely.
But I think that, help me, where were we at?
We were talking about just who instilled that in you, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, that you're not going to invest in anything that.
Yeah, we were on Warren Buffett. Excuse me, getting old. So with what I remember him saying was he didn't invest in anything that he didn't know about. So you think about the way I expand sports apparel. Well, we're already in gyms anyway, right? I know what the cool jerseys look like. I know what a good jersey looks like. I know what it feels like, right? So that's one thing. Rental properties. Well, I stayed in a rental property with my mom.
Yeah.
Right.
Majority of your life.
The majority of my life.
Right.
Right. So I know what that looks like.
Absolutely.
Right. So, let's keep going with my construction company. Well, I had to get my stuff fixed, or had to get things fixed several times. And I remember thinking to myself, man, I need to get more involved in this, because I don't know if people are overcharging me.
Right.
I don't know if the people that I'm sending to do it, they're, taking care of it like I need to be taken care of. So let me figure out how to do that myself. So I ended up, hiring some guys, and they helped me out with that. So, we've started a pretty successful construction company.
That's what's up. And your construction company pretty much takes care of a lot of the rental property stuff too?
All of it.
They involved in all, they do all of that.
Yeah, man. So it's an extension of things
just
that I'm
vertically integrated pretty much everything.
Yeah. So, and then also too, like my salon. Well, I had a really good tournament one year. I don't like money just sitting around. I like to keep reinvesting. And so what I did was I took a pretty nice sum of dollar and put it into opening up a salon. Right. I love my barber, T. Will. Shout out T. Will and his beautiful family, Miss Desi, St. Louis, and all that. But man, he was at the shop, and I loved what they did. Right. And I kept recruiting, and kept communicating with them about what my plans were. And so eventually we ended up getting them. And so he brought his energy and the passion that he has for the industry. And then I brought my, just caring about people, right? Making sure that people are doing it the right way.
Absolutely.
And we've, we've gathered more and more people of like minds that are professionals.
Now we got a full-fledged, portfolio. And so from this mix of already being in certain spaces and seeing a need, mixed with passion,
there you go,
mixed with being around the right people, mixed with just simply caring for people, this is birthed into what it is today, and what it's going to continue to be, right? I did an interview a few weeks back. I don't know, you remember Jay Taylor?
I remember Jay.
Remember Jay Taylor?
I did he's not around here anymore.
He's in Dallas now.
Yeah, okay.
Right. So we he's training top NFL players and athletes all over the country, D1 athletes, things like that. And so we were talking, and I asked him a very specific question where we talked about, in order to be successful, in particular in sports, do you need to have a team or like a mentor to like really show you the ropes and show you the game? Same way that, and he said, absolutely. He said, you either got to have a coach. He said, think about it. Everybody that's the person that's successful in sports has somebody.
Yeah.
LeBron, he had his coach from high school. Right? Anybody, they got their dad, they got a team, they got a coach, they got somebody that's influential that's showing them the ropes, making sure they stay disciplined and doing the things they need to do.
Okay.
So for you, can you talk about how important mentorship is in business? You being a mentor for your boys, right? And then the people that also mentored you to kind of show you the rope. Talk about how important that is.
Yeah, no, I think it's one of the most important things.
Absolutely.
I remember being 25, 26, 27, and I was lucky enough to fly or do something where I was around professional people.
Yeah.
I would walk up to complete strangers. It didn't matter, black, white, male, female, and ask, man, what's the secret?
Yeah.
Right? What's the secret, man? How do I get to where you are? From my humble age of 25, 30, 32.
Yeah.
And how do I get to where you are?
Yeah.
Without having to bang my head up against the wall.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so you'd be surprised how people are flattered,
Yeah.
to spend that time with you. And
Talk about that though, cause doesn't it take a certain level of humbleness and humility to be willing to say, you know what, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not sure which way to go, can you help me? Is that the reason why a lot of people can't get where they want to go sometimes, because they're not willing to do that?
Yeah, I think so, but that's a really deep topic,
Right.
And I think if you really, really want it, and you're about it for the right reasons, and sometimes, man, it takes bumping your head. Sometimes it takes realizing I can't do it. Sometimes it takes, man, dang, I can't, I don't have the resources, right? And so, man, I was at a point, man, like I said, I had 2 kids by then, and I'm saying, man, hey, look, how do I get to the next level?
Yeah.
So let me take Jason out of the way, right? Let me take me out of the way and just figure out what's the best way to do it.
Absolutely.
And I think sometimes it's a community, and then you got people from different cultures that do it different ways.
Yeah.
And I'm sold on doing it the right way. It's not about one way, my way, this way. It's about what's the right way.
100%.
So I think that's very, very, very important, man. I think, people need to humble and be able to ask questions. And you'd be surprised, people want to help.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, you got to ask the right person or two,
Right.
and you might not get a yes every single time.
Right.
But I don't think that, nobody's batting 1,000. So you just got to keep trying, man. So, yeah, I completely agree with that, man.
100%. 100%. Now, starting out, Coach, you tell me a very interesting story off camera about how you got started in the real estate game in particular.
Yeah.
Right? Can you mind sharing that story a little bit? Kind of like how you got that first property and how you made it to where you now, I know you said we're not going to tell them how many you have, but tell them how you now have multiple. Can you kind of get that journey real quick and the quick synopsis real quick?
Man, just being a renegade. Just being, man, like I said, I was raised by a hard working lady from Keogh, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Man. I remember just saying, man, we got to figure it out. So what I did was...
What was that exact play that you did?
Yeah, no, I got you. I'm just trying to bring it home with you. I was at the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
Right? West Zone Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
Dealing with your bad ass.
I was probably the best kid up there. Them kids.
I don't know about that.
Different.
He was a good kid, but he was smart. That'd be the worst one. Yeah, they know how to maneuver and manipulate.
I could talk my way out of some
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. You gotta keep your eyes on you.
You're right.
So, nah, man. So I didn't have a lot of dough, but I had good credit, right? One thing I did, I'm really particular on certain things, right? I believe in keeping a good, name for yourself, man. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it.
100%.
And so, what I did was I had good credit at the time. I was blessed to have good credit, and so I had a credit card that had X amount of dollars on it, the limit. And so, my best friend, man, he ended up just getting his realtor's license. And so I bought the first property that he sold, right? It was $20,000 over in Southwest Little Rock. So I ain't got $20,000. I'm 28, 29 years old, but I got this piece of plastic, right? And at that moment, it had like a $20,000 limit on it.
Right.
So I talked to
You had some damn good credit.
Yeah.
That's right. You had pretty good credit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
what I did was they said, man, I talked to guys like, you can call them, get them to go up on a credit line.
Yeah.
Should I call them? So I called and I'm nervous. They said, man, yeah, we can go up a little bit. And so they put extra $5,000 on it, right?
Wow.
So I'm sitting there with a $25,000 credit card. Now, here's how it went. House was $20,000, I'm sorry.
Right.
I got $25,000 credit limit.
Right.
So make the request to the credit card company. They put $20,000. They were going to put $20,000 into my account. I ended up wanting the whole 25, right? Because there's a small interest fee that I had to pay. I think it was 4%. But here's the catch: is 0% if you pay that money back to the credit card. That's what it was then. By I think it was 16 months, 18 months.
You told me 16 months, 18 months.
16, 18 months. But now, if you go to 16 months in one day, well, they tack on like a 23, 27% interest rate.
Wow.
You know, on top of it. Now, I ain't got a lot of dollars. This is the opportunity to scale up, to go to the next level. And so, man, with the blessings of my wife, man, we went ahead and went forward with it, right? So, house was $20,000. I think I had like a $400 interest fee, you know, for a 4% deal, and then I had to put $4,000 into fixing it up. So now I ended up spending that whole $25,000, right?
For sure.
So now what I did was, now I have a whole house that I own, that's outside of my domicile that I stay in. So I'm renting it out, and so I took every dime of that person's dollar that she spent on that tenant, that she spent.
All right, we were talking about how it takes a certain level of discipline, right? But like I said, if that was my tenant and I knew I was getting X amount of dollars a month, I'm cashing out, right? I'm getting something. Yeah. But for you said, no, I'm going to put all this back in the pot.
Well, it's a sacrifice, and I got this term called eating Roman noodles. Yeah. Right. And that, you know, not literally, but sometimes, yeah, literally. So what I was locked into doing was, man, I gotta get this paid by 16 months. Because if I go into that 16th month and I still got $10,000 left on that card, man, that's the rat race. That's how they get you, right? Yeah. But now I'm smarter than the average bear. Or I think I am. Yeah. So now we gotta lock in. You know, income tax time comes. We got to spend the money that we would have spent on something else onto this credit card. Yeah. You know, any extra dollars. That's when I was starting to just briefly starting the whole little small tournaments. Might make $400 or $500, $1,000. Every dollar that we had extra went towards paying that house off. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Were there any other sacrifices that you had to make that you could think of? Maybe we can go on vacation.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like, because people don't get that. Yeah. Can you just kind of tell them some of the things that you had to sacrifice outside of spending every profit that you had? What were some of the other things that you had to cut back on?
Man, luckily, we were in the beginning ages of Facebook.
Yes, sir.
Instagram wasn't around back then. Right. So we didn't deal with the, what is everybody else doing? Right. There was some of that. Right.
It wasn't like flashing like
it wasn't flashing
like crazy like now. Right.
Like now, it's so hard, man. You got to be tough-minded
to not compare yourself
to really lock in. I had a conversation with a gentleman the other night. Last night, as a matter of fact, about that. Just stay where you are. Stay in your race. And so that's what we did, man. We just stayed in our race, right? To make sure that we were, taking care of us, because we knew that tomorrow was coming.
100%.
Right? So nah, man, yeah, you have the urges to want to go and do some stuff. You want to go buy those J's, but I was fine. I don't have to have the nicest things right now.
100%.
It's about later on, and that's a part of that whole eating Roman noodles part that I talk about.
Absolutely. And obviously, I want to switch gears just a little bit, right? Because I feel like you gave so much value in the business to. Right?
And I'm sorry, let me finish that.
Please.
But what I did was, man, I ended up paying that house off.
Absolutely, please. Absolutely.
We ended up paying that house off. Right. I think it was right at 13 months.
Right.
So now we're looking at a free and clear house that we own outright, paid off in 13 months. No debt to it. Yep. So every dollar that comes back now is my dollar. Yeah. So what we do now?
Now we can kick it a little bit. Just a little bit.
Nah, it ain't time.
That's it.
It's some more Roman noodles to eat.
Okay.
We might get the Oriental Roman noodles now.
Okay.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We might even some chopsticks now.
Yeah. Let's see. No, we eating chopsticks now. That's now. Not back then. But nah, man. So that worked. It was 13 months. It was hard, but it wasn't that hard. I said, man, let's do it again. So we ended up doing it again. Yeah. Same deal. Every dime that the first tenant was paying and the second tenant was paying, and then any extra dollars that we made was put on to that second one, right? So that one was paid off, I want to say, in about a little under 12 months, right? So we did it again after that, right? So now you look up and you're sitting with, in a little over 2.5 years, with 3 outright owned properties.
Straight profit.
That's straight profit. Yeah.
That's crazy. That takes a certain level of discipline, sacrifice. There's so many lessons in that.
But I mean, you think about it. I'm 43 now. That was 3 years of my life to get it started. And that 3 years helped jump me off and jump my family off to where my legacy is set on a different level. We've done that in different capacities in so many different ways since then. Remember, I started when I was 29, and so I had 3 properties by the time I was 32, 33. 33, 34, we went after bigger properties. I ended up buying one that was $250,000. Now I didn't pay that one off in 12 months, but I did that one a little bit different. So now you start to learn the different ways of moving your money around and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that inspired me.
Yeah, man, stay down.
You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, I'm putting some bread. The next portfolio you do because
I see all this expensive shit you got in here, man.
Don't start, man. Let me tell you.
This ain't stuff you get off Amazon.
Don't start, man. Don't start, man. But seriously, like you said, now shifting gears a little bit because there was so much value just there, right? Alone, how to start the business, how to get into the real estate game, how to sacrifice to build up your portfolio in such a way. It wasn't an overnight thing.
Yeah, no.
Right? And you didn't even mention it. I'm sure you still was working, you still had your day job, you were still doing other things just to make sure everything was straight at the crib.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. For you, obviously, I think your mom was one of your biggest mentors for you, right?
Yeah. Hands down.
Absolutely. Yeah. But we also talked about off camera, what was that dynamic like with your pops? Was there a relationship there? Were you guys close? How was that?
No, there was no relationship.
Okay.
Man, last time I saw my dad, and I still remember this, and this is 40 years ago. I was 3 years old. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's crazy. I don't remember a lot of stuff, of course, being 3. But I remember that last day I saw him. He was back in Cali, where I'm from, Pasadena. He ended up passing, let me go in order. 3 was last time I saw him. We moved from Cali when I was 6, maybe 7, back to Arkansas. 2 Little Rock. Yeah. My first time coming here when I was 6, maybe 7. Mm-hmm. He didn't move with us. Right. Like I said, my mom's been married, divorced, back married again. But my biological father passed when I was 13. Mm-hmm.
Were y'all close at that point when he had passed? Like up to that point, y'all talked in then 3 to 13?
Nah.
Really?
Nah. So I talked to him. I guess he knew he was going to die, right? He was in the hospital. Right. And so I talked to him. He called maybe a week or 2 before he passed.
Did he tell you he was going to die?
So no, I didn't know. I didn't know that. Here's and this is my take as an adult now, right? This is what I think about it.
Now that you really think back on it.
Yeah, this is what was going on. Right. That's a great question. So, man, good job by you. But
come on,
what I think was, he knew he was going to pass, so he was just getting this shit in order, right? And so the way I look at it now, I could be wrong. It is what it is. It was kind of a selfish thing. I remember it was around the fair. Right? Mm-hmm. So it's just me and my mom, and I got this guy calling, and she says, it's your dad. And so just like every, young boy, you want that dad love, right? I'm willing to forgive everything. I'm willing to forget all that. Fuck all that. Like, this is my dad. And I remember calling him dad too. And so I remember asking him, hey, man, the fair is about to come. You gonna send me some money? And I remember saying, well, yeah, I'm gonna send you some money, blank. And so I go to school or whatever the case may be, go on with my life for that next day or so, and I'm just the happiest kid in the world because my dad's back. And not his physical presence, but man, just his voice. Just being able to have somebody I can say, Dad. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And so maybe 5, 6 days later, a week later, I get a call and my mom tell me, he died. And so as a kid, I'm pissed off because, man, why me? I didn't have a dad. Then he came back, for this 5 days, 6 days, and now he's gone. Man, what's wrong with me? Why me? The whole Will Smith deal.
That scene still hit.
Hey, bro, I'm talking about I'm a grown ass man. I cried.
I got a dad. And that scene hit.
Yeah, I cried when I said that, right? So because that was me, right? I felt every moment, every bit of that. Even as a grown up, I still feel that.
Absolutely.
But what happened was he passed. We went on. I remember tearing my room up. Just being a 13-year-old,
absolutely,
kid.
Absolutely,
man.
Full of emotion.
Yeah, full of emotions and all that stuff. And so. We moved forward, we moved on, kept going like it was. learn some stick-to-itiveness.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
And you know what? Usually when I interview people, they don't necessarily know, you know, my story, but you know me. You know my dad.
Yeah.
Right? You met my dad. You like I said, he watched you grow up.
Yeah.
Right? And you know, I've told you this, me and him haven't always had the best dynamic between us. Because even though he was there with me physically, his presence wasn't, he was present, but his presence wasn't always felt.
Yeah.
I say that all the time, right? I heard that and somebody else said that and they just explained it perfectly. And, you know, I'm still thankful that I had him and, you know, we were able to get through some things. And I had to forgive him for a lot of stuff. Because now I got a little girl, right? And I understood that if I didn't just let it go, I'm not gonna sit here and say we got the best relationship now per se.
Sure.
But I forgave him.
Yeah.
So for you, 43-year-old man now,
Yeah.
with your own boys, your own family,
Yeah.
4 boys,
Yeah.
have you forgiven your father?
No.
And how has that lack of forgiveness or his lack of presence or all those emotions that you still may feel to this day, how do you feel like that has molded you?
Well,
And what does that instilled you when it comes to your own family?
so I say this because I said no quick because I don't,
Very quick.
man. And I don't know. I could be wrong. I could look up 10 years from now and want to retract that. But man, being a father is one of the most beautiful things in the world.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't imagine. When you see my boys, you see me.
Yep.
You hear me?
Every single time.
You see my boys, you see me.
Every time we get to the gym, every time we
Yeah.
get to the game, everything. You there.
Yeah. But so what? Not having one, you know, I know what that feels like, and I'd be damned if I not be there with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'd be damned if I not be there.
Because it's just like, because when you, and like I said, you got 4, I only got 1, but still,
Yeah.
when I'm there, I'm like, how could you not want to be here?
Yeah.
How could you not want to see this?
Yeah.
You know? Watching them grow up so quick and watching them change. And now I'm at the point, my little girl, she's only 4, so she's starting to come into her personality.
Yeah.
And it's so dope to see, like, she went from this to now she's thinking for herself. She has her own thoughts. She has her own, you know what I mean? It's dope to see.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I don't blame you when you said, like, how would you not want to be around for that?
Yeah. Well, they also too, man. People don't know what they don't know.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, some people. I don't know a whole lot about that side.
Right.
Me and my boys talk. You know, we started this Lanier shit.
Right.
I took the name.
It started with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's why I'm so prideful if y'all ever hear Lanier Premier Properties, Lanier Premier Construction, man, all that stuff, man. I'm big on that, man.
Absolutely.
My business name's growth. You know, that my business names are really, really important to me. You know what I'm saying? Because they mean something. That's my statement to the world. You know, but my name is something that's big, man, to me and my family.
Absolutely.
Right. And so that's where I'm at with that, man. I think that with him, I don't know if he had that, right? And so I hadn't delved in enough to know all that.
Right.
But knowing what I know now,
right,
there's no way. You know, my baby boy, I delivered my baby boy. People don't know that, but we had a surprise delivery.
And like you said, you hand delivered your boy yourself.
Yeah, I did, man. Justin, call him Buck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because that's exactly, you know, what he is, man. Big personality, who I want to be when I grow up.
He definitely got a big personality.
Man, big personality, brilliant.
You think he's a big brother?
Oh, he is. You should see him at the house, man. He punking the older brothers. but no, man. But no, I see some of the stuff that they're going through, and I can see me in them, each one of them. You know, I can see me in each one of them.
Which one of your boys you think is like you the most, or that you're like the most, rather?
So it's not that in terms of more.
Yeah.
It's time.
Okay.
Right. Like Jacob, my 16-year-old, he's like me when I was 15 or younger.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So you see them in different seasons.
Yeah. Just as green as I don't know what. Nice guy in the
super
world.
guy, man.
Super cool kid.
Man.
Yeah. Probably take advantage of me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just so nice. I just want to be nice to everybody, which is a great thing, right?
Absolutely.
Well, my 13-year-old Joshua is me, maybe about 17, 16, you know, when I started to come into my own and know who I was, and my confidence started to rise. And realized I wasn't the ugly dude, right? And so I just got my confidence up, man. And so he's me now. That's it. That embodies him now. He's the most swagged out kid I know. Coolest kid in the world, right? Yeah. And then Justin is just me now, man. Yeah, just loud, just man.
He's a splitting image of you, fam.
Yeah, just real, man. Look, man, it is what it is.
Absolutely.
I like this or I don't like that. You know, still mannerable, yes sir. Yeah, no sir.
Of course, because you ain't going for that.
Yeah, no, we ain't going for that.
For sure. Because that's so good, man. That's so good. You know, and you know, again, because I know how you are about this, and so I don't want to dive into it too deep. You know, but your, like you said, talking just about your oldest boy, all your boys, talented, gifted, smart in their own rights, interested in different things, right? But in that sports arena for you, Coach, with your oldest boy, talk about how it is being a father of you know, somebody that's so talented on the court, right? It's just as good as he is off the court and being in books and being a great, mannerable young man. He's the same way on the court, but you wouldn't even tell he was that man because he's such a dog on the court. So talk about navigating that, being the father of one of the top players in the country.
Oh man,
how was that? Like, what's the politics behind that? Like, because I know it's a lot of opportunists out here. It's a lot of people that be just fast talking and just blowing hot air up your soul. You know what? Like, how do you navigate all that to keep him away from a lot of that mess?
Well, to be honest, man, I don't think he's really into it like that. Right, man. He's when I say one of the most down-to-earth kids in the world. Absolutely. He's not really big on social media. He's not really big on the glitz and glamour. I help him with some stuff, you know, social media wise. He has a marketing department that helps him with some stuff. So going back to what does it mean for me? Man, I'm just trying to make the right decisions. You know, I tell him all the time, and if he does his job, I'm gonna do mine. 100%. And so, man, he's working out multiple times a day sometimes. You know, and doing things that will put him on that level. And so it's my job to just make sure that I'm out in front. You know, kind of not. You know, because some parents will try to make the road easy for their kid. Right. I'm not about that. Right. But I'm gonna get out in front and manage the risk. You know, there's a difference between a person that'll come and thump you on the head versus a person that's coming with a mallet to knock your top of your head. Right. I'm after all the mallets. Absolutely. You know, now the thumps and stuff like that. I'll even create the mallet. I'll even create the thumps. You know, the other morning we got this thing, man. I don't wake you up in the morning. That's how it is with all my boys. You know, my 13-year-old is diving into that now. When you got basketball practice or things like that, I don't wake you up in the morning. It's your job to come wake me up, right?
Let me know it's time to go.
Let me know it's time to go. Because all I got to do, especially when it's those 6 o'clock workouts or 7 o'clock workouts, I just got to get up and probably brush my teeth and put my glasses on and we gone, right? Absolutely. Drop you off and you can do your thing. Because that's their thing. Right? Show me.
So you don't force it on them?
No, hell no.
So you know, a lot of coaches and dads and mentors, they go in there and drill sergeant, yelling and pulling the cover back.
Yeah, well, you know, that works for a while. And I think like here's my thing about one of the things about Jace is there were a lot of kids 12 and under that were better than him. Right? Because a lot of dads were pushing, shoving, making, pulling. Moms too. I can't just say dads. You know, sometimes they're made to play. Right? You know, just based off of personal vendettas or I wasn't good or just whatever the case may be. Whatever you want to name it. Whatever you want to call it.
Trying to live their life through their child.
Whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right? You know, and so one of the things I realized with my oldest is, man, well, with Jake's is, and I remember saying this to him, man, if I can get you to love it at 15, when a lot of the other guys that were forced to do it, they start falling off.
Because the game's still the same and get better.
Yeah, and then also too, you think about it, man, that 14, 15-year-old age, there's a natural push. Absolutely. A natural separation. You
start separating themselves.
You start to, man, I'm my own man. You know, these girls. You know, being cool. There's a natural separation that happens from time to time. And so I said, man, if I can get him to 14, 15, and still love him, we got a chance.
Absolutely.
Well, at that particular time, at 13, 14, I stopped coaching, with my organization, and just kind of delved into him and my other boys. He took off. And so now, some of those kids that were better than him at the 12, 13, and under age, he's skyrocketed.
Kind of surpassed the natural.
Yeah, you know, because he's growing. He has a great frame. I think he's got a chance to be 6'8", you know, something like that, you know. And so if he continues to love it, continues to push and work hard, man, I think he'll have a chance.
100%, coach. And talk about this, because like you said, you don't force that on them.
Yeah.
And then they get to see you seeing that it's multiple ways to be successful.
Yeah.
You can go to college and go to the elite. True.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to do, great.
Yeah.
I'm going to support you, son.
Yeah.
But if you decide that ain't what you want to do, right? If you decide that you just want to play college ball and get an education, whatever you decide, talk about how important it is for them to also have other skills. Is that something you instill in them too? Like, make sure that, this is your love and it's your first love and I'm glad you love it, but do you try to make sure they also are well-rounded and have other skills and things they're interested in as well? Got
to be hard working, you know, gotta be a good person. You know, gotta be a good person. You know, I think you can get a long way in this world by just being a good dude, right? You know, now not to the point where you let people take advantage of you, but you know, just being a good person. I try to be I try to be an example for them. I'm not trying to be perfect. No. You know? Here's one of the things I think that they benefit from is they know, man. I'll tell them, man, I'm tired today, or I'm this, or I'm that, or just when you know, one of the triggers is they say, "Dad, how you doing?" And if I say I'm alright, they be like, "What's up? What's wrong?" Because typically, I'll say, "Man, I'm good," blank. But those days when I'm like, "Man, I'm alright," you know, they digging in. What's up? You know, so they get a chance to see a real human being.
Absolutely.
You know, and so now they get to say, okay, it's all right to have a not so good day. I'm just all right. I'm all right today. I'm fine with that. I ain't got to be great every single day. Right? And so I think that's one of those beautiful things.
That's beautiful, man. Coach, something I always do before we wrap up, Coach, I always ask every guest to give like a final thought of the day. And so, as I ask you this other question, be thinking in the back of your mind what you wanted that to be.
We wrapping up already, man.
We've been 45 minutes, Coach. You didn't, but you dropping such gems that's going by quick.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying?
Great interview, man.
Appreciate it, Coach. I told you this, man. I told you. You feel me? So I told you. So
you caught that, didn't you?
That final thought can be anything, Coach. It can be business related, it can be life related, mental health related, sports related, whatever you want it to be. But while you're thinking about that, answer this for me. You know, everybody wants to be successful.
Sure.
Everybody wants their son themselves wants to be the top player. Everybody wants to have multiple businesses and a successful portfolio and all of these different things. But can you just talk about what is the routine that you put yourself through, that you put your boys through, to get what you guys have and what you're going after? You know, I don't know what that looks like for you. Can you just kind of walk us through what's a daily routine for you? What are some daily habits that you make sure you practice and that they practice to have what you guys have and to go after what you guys are going after as a family?
Yeah, so first off, man, it's me and my wife. You know
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So it's not all me by any means, right? I'm more the disciplinarian.
Miss Lanier, it's you too. Don't beat us up for hearing it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm more the disciplinarian, just like it is typically in most male-female households. The male typically is more the disciplinarian. But
you better do what your mama say.
Yeah, no, you better, or it's a problem.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm a roar, right? So I think, man, with me, man, every day I get up Monday through Friday, go to the gym.
We usually cross paths every Saturday, for sure. Yeah, Monday through Friday.
I know sometimes it don't look like because I eat good.
Me too.
I like to get on the patio and drink a little Crown Royal. Shout out to Crown Royal. You know,
they'll be a sponsor soon. You know,
Crown Black is my preference. But no, man, I get up, man, Monday through Friday. You know, school year, I get up, take all the boys to school. Right, we do our morning prayer. You know, just trying to send them off in the right mind frame. From that, I go straight to the gym. After that, I go to come out into the house, shower up, and come up to my office. Right, that's an everyday Monday through Friday thing. Summertime, I've started to, you know, I don't have to take the kids to school, but you know, in my business, if you don't work, you don't eat.
100%.
If you don't hunt, if you don't hunt, if you don't kill anything, you don't eat. So what I do is I set my alarm for still early in the morning, you know, 7 o'clock or so, 7:30, get up, I'm out the house, take my time, say 8 o'clock, and I go straight to the gym. Jake's typically 4 days out of the week goes to the gym with me. He has trainers, a strength conditioning trainer, shout out Curtis Norwood, and then he has a speed and agility coach that meets us up at the gym 2 days a week, so 2 and 2, 4 days. Shout out to AK. And so we do that. After that, it's kind of the same thing. 10 o'clock, back at the house, shower up, drop him off, get up to the office. Typically, my 13-year-old has practice, at about 1 or something like that. So I leave here, go take him. Sometimes Jake will have another workout later on in the evening. I'll leave here and do that. One thing I'm really proud of is, the ability to do, right?
And flexibility.
Yeah, flexibility,
freedom.
I punted my 30s, right? And football people, you know this, man. I punted, meaning I don't want the ball yet. I'll continue to keep eating Roman noodles, right? In my 30s and working the Boys and Girls Club, Warwick Park, and doing the other stuff on the side, because I knew there's going to become a time when I want to chase them around, right?
That flexibility. You want to be able to be at the games. You want to be able to be at the practices.
Yeah. That's number one, man.
100%.
Just being present, and being able to just be with them. If needed, noticing now with my 16-year-old, sometimes I need to just kind of back off, right? And so that's a part of it too. Of knowing when it's time and when it's not time, and so, man, that's what we're doing, man. Just trying to be present. I don't want to look up and say, "Damn, I wish I would have."
Absolutely.
"Damn, I wish I could have."
Absolutely.
Or I don't have the time to. And kind of delving into more of the thing is, man, I think no matter how old you are, it doesn't matter if you're 25, 35, 45, 55. There's a tomorrow. So if you have it in you, if you have a passion, a dream, something that's waking you up in the middle of the night, man, I suggest you listen to it. One of the things I talk about all the time with my kids is your 20-year-old you is crying for you to do that, right? And in this case, or let's go back to me, when I was 28 or 30, my 40-year-old me was crying, "Please do the extra work. Please stay in there. Please keep doing what you're doing. Please stay married. Please blank, 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 blank. Because if you do that, my life is better." Versus if I'm thinking about only me at 28, 30, right? And nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I didn't, in terms of finances and certain things, I can be really, really disciplined, but nobody's perfect. But I think the sacrificing for today, for tomorrow, is very, very important.
Without getting too deep in it, talk about some of that real quick, because sometimes people don't talk about the ugly.
Yeah.
Talk about some of those mistakes, if you don't mind. Just, I have to be, like I say, don't have to go too deep in it or too personal per se, but just what are some of the mistakes that you look back on that?
Man, you don't know what you don't know. Right. I didn't see a marriage. I didn't see a healthy marriage. Right. So you don't know what that looks like. Right. And a lot of us in our culture, a lot of times, not just our culture, a lot of cultures.
Yeah, for sure.
In the way the world is, you don't know what that looks like. So I don't know how to be a dad. Fuck, I ain't had no dad. And now I got this kid calling me dad and doing this. I don't know what the fuck to do. Right. And so all I know is to just stay down. Right. And so it was times that I remember this one time, man, we had a brand new baby. It was Jacob, he was a baby, man, and so the wife was trying to teach me how to change diapers. And so I don't know what this about. So I say, "So where the gloves at?" Where the gloves? Like,
how you do this, man?
Yeah, I'm like, where the gloves?
I'm not touching that.
I'm not finna. And I remember her looking at me, and she kind of looked and she laughed, and I said, "I'm for real. I need some gloves. I'm not gonna be touching this shit. Like what are we doing?" And so after about the second or third time, because we got the gloves, and the gloves take so long to get put on, and we all know the mistake that we do, especially with little boys. We lay them on the table, we get him, unsnap him, we undo the sides of the diaper, and we pull that deal, the pamper back, right? And you got girls, so you don't know what that be like. So I pull the pamper back, and women, y'all know what's going on. So as I'm reaching to go grab the gloves, there's a big stream of warm just hit my arm, and I'm like, man, what the hell is this? And I look up and he's just everywhere, man. And so by the third, fifth time, man, I realized, man, you gonna get it on you anyway, bro. Just get in there, just get in there. So just being a young father, man, you know, you learn so much, you know, you don't get a chance to. And so hopefully, you know, like I tell my boys all the time, they'll be a better father than me. And I expect that from them. Because their kids will have a father who had a father. You see what I'm saying? And so they're gonna know. They're gonna know. Oh man, I liked it. I didn't like that. This worked. This didn't work.
100%.
This meant something to me. This didn't mean anything to me. But Dad was like this with Jacob. He was like this with Joshua. He was like this with Justin. You know, trying to meet their personalities and their temperaments and things like that. One of them I might fuss a little bit more with. One of them I might communicate a little bit more with. You know, so I think they'll be a better father to their kids because they had a father who had a father.
They don't have to go through so much trial and error. The way you did.
Exactly.
You had to bump your head a few times before you knew how to communicate to
Several.
And how you knew how to handle them and how to deal with them before they start shutting down or whatever the case may be.
Because that's the number one thing you don't want to shut down. You know, so how can I adjust?
It's hard to open them back up.
How do I adjust and how can I make it not about me? You know, and again, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. You know, you're gonna have your different things. But one thing about that 16-year-old I got in the crib, man, and even Joshua, my 13-year-old, he's learning it as well, man. Man, they're tuned in, they're listening. You know, they're empathetic and they're charismatic and they care. I think that's the number one thing. They care not only about themselves, which that's going to happen innately, but they care about the house. So they 100%. Care about the family. 100%. They care about how I feel. 100%.
So even when you're not there, you know the house taken care of.
For the most part.
For the most part. You can't leave too much of it.
Sometimes, man, come home and be like, man,
what's up? Hurt somebody.
Hurt somebody.
Because you done dropped so many gems, man. But again, before we get out of here, man, what's that final thought? What's that final gem of the day you want to leave the people with? Something that they can just have to ponder on and go into their life, man.
So I'm a talker, man, and I got so much more to say, but so we can do that at another time. But I'll use this, man. Don't be afraid to sacrifice today for tomorrow.
I think that's one of the biggest lessons that you can give out of this whole thing.
I think we kind of talked about this because that 2, 3, 5 years of just staying down and not worried about what everybody else is doing, not worried about, man, this person is 28 and they got this car and I'm 28 and I got this car, or this person got this house and I don't have this house. Man, just in about 2, 3, 5 years, it ain't got to be that long. Just lock into you. You know what I'm saying? Spending some time, getting to know who you are, right? What makes you tick? What are the things that you do? If you had $1 zillion, I'd do this for free. Right.
What is that thing?
Yeah, what is that thing? And so sometimes that's on the tip of your tongue. Sometimes you got to spend some time in meditation to get that. But I think for the most part, it's your older you is crying out to you. Man, lock in. You ain't gotta be perfect. You ain't gotta, do everything perfect, right? We all gonna make some mistakes, but just locking in on some of the things. Be a better you today to make a better you tomorrow.
It made me think of that thing as we get out of here. It's like, if only you knew the life that God had in store for you. You wouldn't squander it. You wouldn't squander now if you only knew what he had for you later. And I think that was one of the biggest lessons, man. Because again, you touched on so much, man. You talked about how we can get into the real estate game, how to start a business, how to stay down during that, how to be a great father. Right? Even if your father was in your life, that's not an excuse for you not to be a better father or better parent.
It should make you want to be even more.
Absolutely. How important mentorship is. How dear your mother is to you. Like, there were so many gems in this conversation today, Coach, man. We could talk for 2 hours, I'm sure. But we got to probably do a part 2.
I'm down with that. And shout out to my stepdad too. Lord, man, appreciate you, love you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. Because I appreciate it, man.
You know what's up, man. I love you, kid. I love you, and I think the world of you. Man, keep going, man. I love you.
You know I got you, Coach. And when I get there, man, I'm gonna call you so we can,
man, Crown Black.
You feel me?
A little Crown Royal. Maybe a cigar. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be down with that.
The trees versus the...
What happened?
I'm with the trees versus the Crown Royal.
You ready the trees?
Yeah, we'll leave that alone.
Let's do that one. Crown Black and a cigar. We'll start there.
We'll start there. I'll be
Start there.
hot when I drink though. I'll be sweating.
That's fine, man. You come to my patio. My patio. I grill and everything, man.
Oh, yeah,
I cook wings.
You say no more.
Say no more.
I'll be there.
That's a win.
I'll be there. For sure, man. But for real, I appreciate you, man. I know y'all gonna have a lot of value from this episode.
Hopefully.
Absolutely. If not, you wasn't listening, right? But until next time, man, we appreciate y'all, man. It's love.